Hi, welcome to One for Kay and the Bride. So today I like to share a dream that I had. This dream has to do with an event that takes place. So I was inside of a building in the dream and it was daylight and there were a lot of people in this building and I looked outside. It was a clear blue skies. It was a clear day. And I looked up and I started to notice that the sun started to darken. So it looked like an eclipse, but I wasn't sure. It just started to look dark. It just got dark. Um, I guess you would call it a solar eclipse, but I don't know. In the dream, I didn't get that message that it was an eclipse. I just saw that the sun got dark. And it started to get really windy outside and the sky got dark too, and a lot of people who were indoors, they were like, lock the doors, because it was so windy that you could feel the draft of the wind coming through the glass, like the window and the doors in the front. They were like those electronic doors, like people just, sensor doors, they can just walk in. So I could hear a lot of people saying, lock the doors, lock the doors. So they closed the doors and I could still see like the wind was getting more and more intense outside and the draft was still getting through the doors, and it was so strong that the wind started to blow inside of the building. So all of us that were standing inside, we could feel the draft and the cold and the wind. And things started to blow around like paperwork and stuff like that. So it got windy indoors as well. So it didn't matter if the doors were closed, the wind still made it indoors. And then for a moment when I was looking outside, and then I felt like there was something having to do with the Lord. So in the dream, I went down on my knees and I started praying to Jesus. And a lot of people were around me. Some of them were believers as well, so they started praying too. Um, and then for a second, I knew that I was dreaming, so I became aware. So I was like consciously aware in the dream. And for a second, I was like, somebody tell me the time. What time is it? What time is it right now? So I was asking the time. And then somebody said, it's 3 p.m. And after that, I noticed that the storm, it kind of slowed down a bit, and then there was this big truck that came outside of the building, and there was nobody in the truck, but I was led to that truck. So the Holy Spirit in the dream said to go in that truck. It will take you to a new location. So I went in the truck, and then I ended up getting to this abandoned building. It was a really dark building. It was all dark outside now. So it was 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but it looked like it was as if it was like midnight or something like that. And when we arrived to this building, there were a lot of people there, and they were waiting, and people were like, we're just waiting and waiting for something to happen or something to take place. And there were not many people there. It was like a kind of like a waiting room, but whatever building it was, we were pretty high up, like probably like on the maybe seventh floor or something like that. So like in the middle of the building. And so I remembered this building didn't have any furniture. It was just like cement walls. It kind of looked like a parking lot. But there were a lot of people just waiting there. And I looked outside, it was dark, and there was no windows to this building either. So it could have been like like a abandoned building or a building under construction or something like that. And everyone was just waiting. It's like we're waiting for a moment to happen or something to take place, and then and then the dream ended. So that was the dream I had. What stood out to me in that dream was that the sun got dark, uh, then it went from daylight to night, and then I asked what time it was, and then the people said it was 3 p.m. And then I was led to this building, an abandoned building, where there was not many people, but whoever was there was waiting for something to take place. It was like they were all just waiting, like soon, like it's gonna happen soon, or something's gonna take place. I'm assuming that they were waiting for the rapture. That's what I'm assuming. But that's what I got from the dream. And one thing I wanted to mention is I had I had another I mentioned another video on my channel about, I think it was called the bread of life, and there I had seen two clocks that was pointing to 3 p.m. and this is the third dream that I received that talked about like 3 p.m. So I got three dreams about 3 p.m. So 333. So this was the dream that I got, and I thought I shared with all of you. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos of dreams and visions, please have a look at those. There's all kinds of messages that I've received. And thank you all for watching. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye now.